subject of Blue Sky and Twitter, as many of you know, last week a lot of people, me included, jumped over to uh, uh, Blue Sky. I said before it was the whole AI and changing the block thing was just this camel that broke the straw that broke the camel's back for me, because I was already planning to, because that site is just littered with bots and scammers, and usually when it came to either them following me in my DMs, likes, and all that, it was very so often it would happen, so it wasn't necessarily an issue. But in the last 2 weeks, it was becoming more and more frequent, and I was getting more and more frustrated and annoyed. It was not doing my mental health particularly good, if I'm gonna get real here for you, because it's not worse than like trying to, because like I said before, I enjoy, my main focus on doing this is having fun, but I do want to grow, but I'm not in any rush to grow, and I always put growing as a side thing, a thing to the side that I want to happen, but is not my main focus. But there's no worse than trying to grow, and every time you post something on there and it's met by bots following you or in your DMs, or scammers, because the reason these art scammers follow you is because they hope for you to post, they wait for you to post saying, hey, I want commissions, and your posts will like just be bombarded by it. It really was just bringing me down, because it felt like I was getting back to what it was like on YouTube for me, because when I used to do YouTube content, every comment on there was either a scammer or someone trying to get you to sub for sub, and it was really frustrating, and it was just bring me down. And when I saw the whole other things that were changed, I was like, okay, I'm done. And it's been almost a week since I've been on Blue Sky, and I tell you what, my mental health has been a lot better, because it just feels like such a chill place. I think the best way of kind of describing it, going on Twitter is like going to work, and going on Blue Sky is like going to hang out with your friends. That's kind of the best way about it. Like on Blue Sky, I generally feel like if for some reason the artist I usually work with, said before, August Charm, links in the about, who did the PMG when I was a PMG, also did the reference sheet for this model. If for some reason they can't do them, I can confidently say, at least on Blue Sky, I could tweet it out without having to worry it being bombarded by lots of bots and scammers. You want to know a good example of how much that Twitter is definitely like been bombarded? It has so many bots and stuff. I left a tweet saying I was just done with everything, and yeah, I've still gotten someone coming in my DMs. I've still getting people following me, despite those facts, that they would see that tweet and go, oh, okay, never mind. Showing just how much this site really is just littered with these types of people. Because why would you follow someone if you didn't? Now, yes, I could play devil's advocate and say they probably saw some of my stuff in their For You page, but I still feel like if I was going to follow someone, I would check out the other stuff and they would see them. As well as also no link to it, because I feel like if I put a link to the Blue Sky, they might attract those types of people, sort of thing. But also on the subject of the Twitter X or fucking whatever discussion, I've seen a lot of people feel like it'd be the end of Twitter. There's two things I could feel like. For me, it will be, because like I have no reason to go back there. I don't have like a huge following on there. I'm done with having to deal with scammers and bots. Liking in my DMs, and yes, I know I could just prioritize my DMs, but then they'll come into the comments saying, "Hey, I want to talk to you in your DMs," because that happens. So it's a lose-lose situation now. And I don't really have a huge following on there. Like it's like just over 140, and most of the times when I notice it's a bot account in the past, I'll just like block them. That's another reason why I don't want the block feature like that, or stuff like that. But now I've just left it, so I don't really care. But that's not a lot of people, and I don't really care. But I don't blame people who have been on Twitter for a while. Those who've taken years to grow in a following to suddenly immediately abandon a site for a more favorable one. And that's why Elon Musk is doing this bullshit stuff, because he knows that a large percentage of people aren't just going to fully abandon their site. But we will see the wait and see approach, because I think the more praise people keep talking about Blue Sky, the more likely people might follow over. The thing is, though, I think there's the two things that are going to happen One, either Twitter ends up being like Facebook. Oh shit! Hello, Sobe. Um, where not a lot of people will be using it, but it'll still exist. Or it's still widely used, and Sky just becomes another place for people to post stuff, which is good for me. Like I said before, the minute that everyone I follow on there is on Blue Sky, I will no longer be using Twitter. I still have Twitter up for those reasons. Because I think right now on Twitter I follow 175, and right now on Blue, I'm just looking at my profile. On it's 79, so getting there. Well, less than 100 more people to go over, um, uh, and uh, and I will be done with it. Because I also said this on Blue Sky, I feel more confident about tweeting about other stuff besides stream stuff. Yeah. That is also like one of my fears of like the people go, because that's why the shitty people exist on Twitter. It's because when something gets very popular, it attracts those kinds of people to them. But yeah, I mean, but at least on the plus side with Blue Sky, if you do deal with toxic people, you can just block them. I think the best thing to do, if any of those people do tend to go there, is just ignore them. A lot of the times when it comes to people being shitty people, they're doing it for attention. And there's an old saying, you give people an inch and they will take a mile. You give them even the slightest attention, then you have the woodworks of tons of people just flooding in. Because it was, oh, I can be an asshole and get a lot of attention on that. It's been such a nice. Yeah, actually, that reminds me on a post I saw on it, which pretty much like summarized people's feelings. It's done by an artist. I follow. Let me find the post in question, because it pretty much summarized all of that art. Just give me a minute. I'll get up on here. It should be nope, bikes. There we go. Where was it? Ah. Let's see. I gotta try and remember. See it. Yeah, this one like pretty much just summarizes everyone's feeling on this. Just this is the best capsulization of the feeling of being on Blue Sky, but versus X. Mm, mm, yeah. But I was also seeing it. I don't know if because sometimes I forget to like some of the TikToks, but I saw one by a guy called. He's known as Four, but he's also I think pirate software. Like he's like an expert in all this kind of stuff, and he was saying how dumb it is that they pissed off the artists, because artists pretty much run the internet, which is very true. It's why loads of scammers of them exist to begin with. Of pissing them all off could end up ending the site. That could happen. A way of that, because Tumblr is another example of that, where they decided they wanted to get rid of all not safe for work art off of there, and now Tumblr is not a site widely used. That's why I said that the two of things could happen with Twitter. Is either people still use it, but use Blue Sky as another site, or it gets like that where it's not as popular as it once was, and no one cares about it anymore. Which kind of hope that is one of the scenarios. But yeah, that's enough on the topic of Blue Sky. But anyone who hasn't gone there and you want a better happy, more mood on that, I will highly recommend it over Twitter for sure. One other thing to mention, I mentioned before that I do have an editor, and I kind of I mean, he makes a lot of bad business decisions in general. Like, if you've seen the fucking Cybertruck, that is a clusterfuck of a mess if I've ever seen it. Random side note on that. I saw a TikTok on about that, and when the people who were helping make the car said that he needed to make it more ergonomical, more practical, he said no, I want it to look cool. He ignored people who were experts on how to make a car just because he wanted something that looked cool but was highly impractical. Jesus Christ, that man's an idiot. He's like Homer Simpson, but he's also a billionaire, which is not a good mix.